To inspire, to uplift, different people share their gifts. A safe space, an open door, on a journey to explore human beings.
I'm already smiling. I'm already smiling. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to A Human Being. I am your co-host, Dwayne Wiggins Jr., along with my host, Ana Henderson, and we are back live tonight.
Yes.
It's a wonderful show, an exciting show. We were actually just talking, and we have not been live since March 31st.
Yes, March 31st. Where did the time go?
Away. That's where
it's May. It is May already. It is May already.
It is May already. Today is May 19th. It's Monday, and we are excited to be back live.
I missed you guys. I missed you.
I missed you. I missed the show. I missed you so much, and I feel like I honestly feel like I have not seen you. Okay, no, I saw you in April, in the beginning of April. It's been over a month, and I've seen you in person.
Really?
Yes.
That's unacceptable. I think that's unacceptable.
It's been over a month. I think the last time that we saw each other in person was April 6th.
Oh my goodness. I'm a trust and believe that you're right, because I can't even think of it. I would have to go through my pictures. I lived through my pictures. So we was together because we take a picture. We always take a picture. That's one thing for sure. Two things for certain.
I know it's been a long time, but it's so good to see you, and I'm so happy that we are back tonight. We have an exciting show tonight. We have a special guest that's with us tonight.
Yes, we do.
For us to talk to our special guest, Zahirah Smith, who is here to promote her book on tonight. I can't wait for us to talk about it.
Yes.
I'm really excited to talk about this book for multiple reasons. Because I think that this individual did something. I'm telling you, wait till you guys get your hands on the book. The book is called Empty Stars. And when we talk about it tonight, we're going to dig a little deep. We're going to bring her on later on in the show, and we're going to talk about it. But wait until you get an opportunity to read the poetry. I had an opportunity to go through the book and read some of the poetry. It is phenomenal. And if you are struggling with like your mental health, or you need inspiration, or whatever the case may be, this is a book that you want to add to your library. I'm telling you, it is powerful. You can purchase it on Kindle. It's on Amazon, but we'll definitely talk more about that later. But I am excited to catch up with my dear friend and my love, my Ana. I'm so glad to catch up and talk with you. So Ana, what's been going on with you? I know there's been a lot. And the truth of the matter is we text, but we haven't texted a whole lot. So I'm excited to hear about like what's going on with you. I know there was a lot, but I want to hear what's going on with you.
Yes. So, I mean, I suppose if we're starting from April, we celebrated a couple birthdays. My daughter turned 13, April 9th. I turned 34, April 10th. So we're literally a day apart. That was super exciting. There were some other April birthdays. Shout out to Sophie. We visited a couple restaurants. Okay. I've been to this place called Mama Joanna. I've been to Prime Fusion. Both were amazing during our time apart. My daughter actually won a championship game for her basketball team at school. I was so proud of her. She actually won Rookie of the Year. So for those of you that know, she actually broke her collarbone during the beginning of the season. So she was out for a couple of games. But once my baby was able to get back in the game, she showed up and she showed out and she got Rookie of the Year. So we did celebrate that. Easter was at my house. So I had a bunch of my friends, some family come over. We did the traditional Easter egg hunt with the kids, and I cooked some food.
You did Easter egg hunt with the price of eggs?
Do what? Huh? I'm sorry, what?
I said with the price of eggs, you did Easter egg hunt?
No, we didn't. We used the dollar store eggs. What you talking about? We gotta put the candy in there or money, because we had some golden eggs. I don't know if everybody else did that, but honey, they was tearing this house up looking for them eggs. It was a sight to see. Whenever the kids have fun, that's when we have fun. So yes, Nora was in a fashion show. My little diva. It was like a theme for cowgirl, so she went dressed as Beyonce. That's amazing, you know.
Who else did we dress as?
And then I did speak on being a part of a wonderful project called A Song for Nia. We
Yes.
officially have wrapped that. The web series should be premiering later 2025. I'm sorry, I don't have an exact date, but um, Ebony, oh my goodness, she is the director and founder of Pearls Girls Production.
Shout out to
Amazing.
Ebony. Ebony usually joins us on the show, so we definitely shout out Ebony
Yes.
and all the amazing work she's
I
doing.
miss you, girl,
Congratulations.
Mina and Zanny, all
Yes.
the girls, all the girls. But that was
Congratulations to you
super
all.
exciting, and with the connections that I made from some of the cast members with A Song for Nia, I've been able to audition for another play. It has been forever since I've been on the stage, and of course, you were my last play.
I,
Um, what was it? A Man Called Joe.
no, it was home. We
It
the
was
last
home.
show.
Oh goodness
Yes,
gracious!
the
Yes, it
last
was
show that we did
home.
was home.
It
Yes,
was home. So it's been a minute, but I am excited to say that I am super grateful. I am so honored for this opportunity. The play is called Secrets, and it's by Jasai Entertainment Theater Festival. That is the
I
name
love
of his
it.
company.
Okay,
So y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Secrets. It should be premiering in August of 2025. So I'll be giving you guys dates and ticket prices and all these great
I
things.
love
But
that.
I think that is my nutshell of a recap.
I love
I
that. What people, I want to interject something really quick. What people may not know about you is that you are a phenomenal
oh
actress. I
stop.
mean,
Thank you.
phenomenal actress. And I
Thank
think
you.
that I'm just waiting for somebody in Hollywood or somewhere to just see the work that you do because you are going to sign. Like you are
Thank you.
phenomenal. And so to know that you are back in on stage, you finish up the web series, which I
Yeah.
heard a lot about, and I cannot. There's high anticipation for me to see it. I cannot wait to see it. And then for you to go back on stage, I just think that is so great, and I'm so proud of you. So continue,
Thank
just
you.
continue to act like you are a phenomenal actor. So I'm so happy that that's happening for you.
Thank you so much, my DW. And you the reason, okay? Because
Oh,
straight out of high school, I joined his company and it's been up ever since. And that's just what it is,
I
okay?
know we've done a lot of work together. Like we've done a lot
Yes.
of work together. I'm
DWP
so
will always be my home.
grateful.
DWP.
I love it. I love that.
So
Well, it's
that's me. I want to
listen.
know about you. Recap me. Tell me everything, please.
Listen, there's so much that's been going on. And when I think about like the time that we were not together, the truth of the matter is that I was dealing with a lot of mental health things that I needed to sort out within myself.
Okay.
Shout out to Mental Health Awareness Month. It's
Yes,
May.
yes,
It's May. And
yes.
so that's why we're wearing our green in honor of that. We both are huge advocates for mental health and for those who are struggling with mental health
Mhm.
issues of trying to make decisions and figure out some things within life. You have our support, and so that's why we are rocking our green shirts tonight. But for me, it was just a lot that I was really trying to decipher through, like really just trying to figure out um as our show theme for tonight, what's next in my life. And I
Right.
was just really dealing with things. I was just really tired. It was so much happening, so much going on with like work and things like that. So I just really took a moment in which I thought was like, okay, Anna, we're just not going to do the show this night. We'll wait
Hmm.
show. And
Yep.
honestly, the show it turned into like almost a month to
Yep.
where we didn't do the show because, like I said, I really could not regulate my mind. Like I really couldn't get myself together because like I was trying so hard and there was nothing that was happening. I was just thinking, and I was saying like work was a lot. There was so much happening to where I
Yeah.
just could not regulate my mental health. And for me, I am the type of person when I feel like I am struggling within my area of like what my mind is telling me and what I need to do. Like I have to step back. I have to reflect. I got to make sure that I'm taking time for myself. And that's the
Yes.
honest truth of why we haven't been on for a while. Even when I thought that we were going to come back, it was just like day after day. I just kept saying like, okay, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Hmm.
Then I ended up going to the Boost conference and we had some time to get ready. I had to do a live show there. I did a live podcast.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for tuning into that. So I'm talking about, the Boost conference and all of the amazing things that I've been doing. I was able to celebrate Anna's birthday and my friend group. A lot of their birthdays. We had Ana, we had Sophia had a birthday. Lori had a birthday.
Really?
Shout out to them. Sean had a birthday.
Yes.
We had Ana, kids had a birthday. My brother had a birthday. There was a lot of birthdays in the month of April. And April
Yes.
to May that had a lot of birthdays. And our other friend Patrice, who's watching tonight, shout out to her. Her birthday is coming up on June 1st, and that's our friend group. And so it was just a lot happening. So I had an opportunity. This was my third year going to and attending the Boost conference. And within my heart, like I knew that there was some things that I wanted to do. Like I have really been praying and fasting and self-reflecting on what's next, honestly, for me. Some things that I've really been thinking about. And I really wanted to utilize the Boost conference. This particular time really was different from me. Shout out to Robert Wesley Branch. That is
Robert.
His birthday was in April as well. That is my brother, my mentor. I kind of got this bug and this feeling to do talk because of him and being a co-host on the show for many, many years. So shout out to my brother.
Yes, Robert.
I love him so much. So I've really been thinking about, I was very strategic. And if you don't know about the Boost conference, it's a conference that I participated in. But this is my third year going to this conference. And it's a conference where educators come for like after school. There's principals, there's superintendents, there's CEOs of companies. Like they come to this conference, really to just energize themselves with things pertaining to like after school and education. I want to give a shout out to Tia Quinn, who is the CEO of Boost and my dear, dear friend.
Hey, Tia.
So I have to give a shout out to her. And for many years, like when we started this, and this is such a long story. One day I may tell this story in detail. But Tia has been so gracious. I remember the very first year she invited me to come and to present at the Boost conference. And then this year I was very strategic with how I wanted to approach. In the years past, I've been able to go present. It's been phenomenal. I've met a lot of people. People have booked me to come and do these presentations and they're in different states. That's where I really started traveling and doing all these things. But this year I wanted to be very strategic with how I went because I know and started to feel like the shift within my life that was about to happen. Like there was a shift that was beginning to take place within my life. And I know for a fact, that's where the mental health thing started to come, like where I started to really need to separate, take a step back and figure out what's next in my life. Because I kind of felt like the shift within the atmosphere was beginning to shift me in a direction of trying to figure out the next steps in my life.
Okay.
So going to this conference, I said, I want to pray, I want to fast. I wanted to approach this differently with making sure that I was selling my books. I went and I took books there. I sold out of all of my books while I was there. So I'm really happy.
Congratulations. I didn't know that.
There's so much to this story. It's so much.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
I don't really know where to start because going to this conference really was a huge shift for me because my intentions that I set, and I'm really big on making sure that, and I'll tell people this all the time, when you want something and you're getting involved in the door, open up an opportunity, make sure that you are setting your intentions to take away what you need when you're walking through that door. And for me, I was very strategic. I was presenting at this conference 3 different times. I was a part of Meet the Authors, and what Meet the Authors, I shared this, what Meet the Authors was, the event was that people could come into the room. I was talking about my book. It wasn't like, it's called Meet the Authors, but every author had like an hour time slot. Into the room, you talk about your book, you can take pictures with people can purchase your book and sign your book. So I did that and it was phenomenal. It was really, really great. The next day I did a live podcast with a room full of people. I shared a picture. You can see all the people. Some of them left. Everybody didn't join the picture, but the room was packed with people. I shared my did a live podcast on Are You Okay? Because that's my life mission, checking in on people that they're okay. And then the third day I did a seminar called uncovering your purpose, and it was really helping people try to helping them define their purpose. But by the end of this seminar, the whole mission was for them to be able to come up with a personal mission statement for them. And so as every day when I would present, I would go present, I would come back to my room, I would close the door, I would not turn the TV on, and I would just sit there and reflect on what took place and what happened that day. And I was just really, really thinking about, what it is I want to do. And I'm like, God, show me while I'm here, show me the direction that I need to go in. And I want to manifest everything that I put out. I put out there that I wanted to sell out of my books. I put out there that I wanted to book a couple of gigs to present somewhere else, and connect with a few people. But normally in the past, like I would take meetings while I was there. I would do all the things while I was there. However, this particular time, I just would go present, come to my room, close the door, order room service, or the last days I went out and had lunch by myself. But I was really to myself because I was very strategic about hearing from God, making sure that the Holy Spirit was speaking to me and being able to hear and not be distracted by any when it came to what I was seeking and what my intentions were while I was there. So the more that I really started to think about this and pray about it, and I'm like, okay, the shift in the atmosphere is telling me that there's something next, and I really need to figure out what it is. And if it's what I want or what I feel, this is what I need to manifest. So I went through all the process, and I met this person, and this is no secret. I shared this a while ago, that one of the biggest steps of my life is that I was looking to leave my job and to do what I do full time. Like I really be able to go out and check on the world, like pretty much in some form of capacity, right? So I get in my room, and it's the last day, and Tia invited me to her room. She had like a little pizza party in her room, and I went and was talking. And while I was sitting there, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, "Tell her." And I was having conversations with all the right people in my life to talk about like some of the things that I was trying to explore and all those things. And the Holy Spirit said, "Tell her." And I was like, "Tell her what?" Like, no, not. And I told Tia, I said, "Tia, I think I'm going to move to California." And she instantly like grabbed me, gave me a hug. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So mind you, before I get to that point, right? I'm in the seminars. The first night when I do meet the authors, I met this individual and I talked about, what my dreams and my visions are. And an individual came up to me and he said, I left my job 2 years ago and was just giving me it was like the best decision. That was the synopsis of it. I'm like, thank you for sharing that. Then I met another lady who was at the live podcast, and she talked about how she was on her job and she left her job. It was the best decision of her life when she did that. And so I was like, yeah, she said it was the best decision of her life when she did it. I was like, yes.
That's two people now. That's two people now.
I spoke this into my life that really know nothing about what I'm experiencing or what I'm dealing with. So I'm like, thank you. Like, this is like
that's how you know it's God.
Right.
That's how you know it's God. I'm telling y'all.
I'm telling you. So I say that to Tia, and she's introducing to me to people within the room. And the people in the room, like one guy said that I'm about to retire, and what I'm really looking for is another me. Like, let's talk about what that looks like. Okay. And then Tia's like, send me your resume. And then like all of these things, and I'm just really giving you like the short version of this. Okay. All of these things started to align. So my sister, shout out to my sister Chantel. I don't know if she's watching tonight. We'll talk about that. So she drove up from Palm Springs. So that night I'm in Tia's room, and I'm leaving like around 10 o'clock because my sister came up from San Diego to Palm Springs to pick me up. So I started talking to her like about like what I wanted to do. I told Tia I was going to be moving to California, really with no plan. I just felt in my spirit like that's what I needed to say and do. Okay. So I'm talking to my sister that night. We stayed up like literally all night talking in the hotel room. I would go to sleep and I would wake up, and like it's amazing like how everything aligned, right? Because even before I got to Palm Springs, like everything was aligning. Like
it's so amazing.
And it's like I said I wanted to sell out my books, and let me tell you what happened when it came to the book sellout, right? So all the books I took, I wanted to sell out. This story is all over the place, but it's just so much.
I'm following. Y'all following? If y'all following the story, put some words in the comments. I want to know that y'all following. Let me know.
So let me go back to, I'll come back to telling Tia and talking to my sister about
Okay.
I'll come back to that. But I want to put a push pin into like how amazing God is, right?
Okay.
So I say one of my goals was I want to sell out of all of my books that I bring with me to Palm Springs.
Okay.
I go the first day, I sell some books. The next day I sell books. The third day I sell books. Okay. I ended up leaving with like 8 books. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, God, I didn't sell out. And so what starts to happen is, and this is, I want somebody to take away with this. When God tells you he's going to do something, like when he says, like, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart, he really means that. But what tends to happen within us sometimes is that we start to settle and backtrack on the promise that God has given us. So when we feel like things don't work the way that we think they should work, then we start saying, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be,
I'm
or maybe
guilty.
I shouldn't have.
I'm guilty.
You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
like I spoke to God and said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to sell out of all of my books. I left that hotel, I left that conference center still with 8 books. Now check this. I get to my sister's house. I'm sitting on the couch, and I get a DM and telling me like, thank you so much for the wonderful week. And you know, it was someone that attended, like, thank you so much for, you know, just pouring out your heart and really making me see myself. I'm going to take all of your advice. I'm going to take what we learned in the conference. And she said to me, she was like, I wish I would have purchased another book. And I'm like, because she got a book. She was like, I should have purchased another book for my my cousin or somebody. And I was like, well, I still have books left. And she said, how many do you have? I said, I have 8 books left. She was like, I want all of them.
What?
I want all of them. And what she ended up doing, she actually ended up purchasing a 9th book, because she was like, she wrote a list of names she wanted the books to go to. So I ended up giving her another book. Like when I came back home, I ended up getting another book for her.
Yes.
So the thing about it is, there was already a plan.
Look at God.
I already spoke the desires of my heart to sell all of these books. And my plan was, before I left this conference, I want to sell out of all of these books. However, the plan was, before I left California, I didn't with those books. So every book that I took to California was sold completely out before I left that state. I left Palm Springs. I was only in San Diego for like 26 hours or so. And it's like a lot of times when we have these plans in our life and we think that we have a plan, what I've learned is that God always has a better plan. And so I thought, like, yes, I wanted to sell out all of these books at this conference. I left with 8 books. I left Palm Springs, went to San Diego. And before I left San Diego, I sold all the books plus 1.
Yep.
You know,
and
so I'm
so
grateful for that, because a lot of times when we think that we have a plan and we have a desire of something and it doesn't go according to what we think, we get discouraged. But I love how God always strategically shows us that I am going to do this for you because I know the plans that I have for your life. And this is the way that I have to orchestrate it. And this is the way that it has to be. And this is the way that it has to go. So I really had to laugh out loud about that, because I was just like, oh my gosh.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that it worked out that way. Praise be to God. I'm like, what?
But now taking the push pin out of that, I'm going back to the story. We have our special guest. I know we're a little bit over time, but our special guest is going to be joining us very, very soon. We have Zahirah Smith, who is here to talk about her new book. I can't wait to talk to her about that. I got to finish telling you this story. And I'm going to talk. So I stated to Tia, I talked to my sister. I'm like, I'm going to move to California, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So the next day, that night, Tia texted me and was like, hey, come and meet me at the pool, Palm Springs. If you know anything about Palm Springs, it's hot as hell. It's in the desert. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, people are at the pool laid out. It's hot.
They're hot, yes.
So I take her down to meet my sister, and we talk and we meet and stuff like that, and all the things are happening. But so when I got back to work on the 5th, I came back on the 5th, that Monday. I resigned from my job. I put in my notice.
Scared of you.
And said that my last day is the last day of school, June 13th. And within 2 weeks, there's been so much that has happened. It has blown my mind.
Oh my goodness, DW.
In 2 weeks. And this is so important for you to hear. Whoever's listening, I hope this encourages you, and I hope that you are really listening to this. And those who will do the playback, I hope you hear. This is so important to know. I realized that I was struggling with what I wanted to do next, because I was holding on to something that was so comfortable. I was too afraid to step out into the unfamiliar and the unknown. When the moment, I lie to you not, the moment that I stepped out of that, what was familiar, the doors that I've been waiting to open have opened.
Jesus. What?
I will say this, within 2 weeks, I have multiple job offers in California already and San Diego. So if you didn't catch the story, I'm moving to San Diego. I have multiple job offers. It's so funny and strategic. Let me tell you how God works also. My sister just purchased a new house. She just got a new, like, she's getting a new house. Shout out to my sister again, Chantel. That's my boo. And so she got a new house, and we were talking like about like, yes, we're excited about the move. She's like, you can move in with me, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, yeah, like, feeding all this kind of stuff out there. And if you know anything about me, you know I'm a go getter. I don't stop. I go. And so one of the things that we were talking about, she had got the pictures done that she was gonna get them posted like online to like sell the house. Like she is in the condo, she's gonna sell the condo, then Airbnb, like all of these things. The short version is she said to me, why don't I just give you the condo?
I'm crying. I can't
And I'm
believe
like,
this. Oh my God.
what do you mean? She was like, you can have the condo. I'm moving into this house. So in a matter of weeks, I have jobs, I have a house. All of this happened when I released the thing that was so familiar to me and stepped out on faith to say, like, this is the thing that's calling me. And a lot of times we don't walk into our calling because we are so fearful and because it's so comfortable that we will sit and put up with bull crap from people. We will sit and just take anything from a company when the truth of the matter is that on the other side of that is our calling and the thing that we are called to do. So I'm so grateful because yes, it's been scary, but in a matter of 2 weeks, the moment that I released and said, I'm going to resign from this job and I'm going to step out into the thing that I am called to do, every single door has opened for me. I am not going out to California with jobless or homeless or any of that.
I am so happy for you. Like this literally, I have seen you transition into this and it's so beautiful. And I just feel like you deserve every single opportunity that's coming your way. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart because you are just so good and you're good to people. You're a good person and you deserve this. I am
Oh, thank
so
you.
happy for you. Oh my goodness, Melly W. What?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I think that was so important is for us to be able to walk in that thing that is pulling at us. That's like that,
Hmm.
the thing that keep us up at night. That thing that is calling us when we know, like, I'm supposed to be doing this. And the thing that really got me the most was that when I was at this conference, I was doing the seminar. That was my last. It was a 2-hour seminar. So we were going to do some work. And the work we were doing was uncovering our purpose. And
Okay.
within that seminar, I started us out with a list of questions.
Hmm.
And I went around the room. I gave everybody 10 minutes to answer these questions.
Hmm.
And the number one question, 95% of the room could not answer, was question number one. And I asked them, I said, what was the hardest question for you to answer? And
Hmm.
the majority of them, I went around to each individual and they were like number one. And do you know what the number one,
What was it? I'm like, what was it? Oh, what's next?
what is your worth?
Oh, what is your worth? Okay.
95% of the people in
Okay.
that room could not answer that question.
What is your worth?
They couldn't answer the question. And so as I'm sitting there and I'm talking about knowing your worth, but before they left the room, they realized what they were. They knew their worth by the time, because
Hmm.
that's the work that we were doing.
Correct. Okay. Okay.
But before God really started to speak to me, I was like, how can you sit in this space and share with people to walk in their calling, walk in their purpose, to live
Mm.
their dream, and you're not doing that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can you teach people how to do that and you're not doing it?
Yep. God said,
So,
watch this.
so when I came back
Okay.
Monday morning, that was the first thing. When I walked into that building, the first thing I sat down at my computer and did was write my letter, and I resigned. And I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my calling. This summer, I'll be moving to San Diego, and we're going to be doing some great things out there. So I'm excited.
Listen, if you didn't encourage nobody today, you encouraged me.
Oh,
And all I'm going to say is like my job, like I was at the airport for probably 12 years. I was with two different companies at the airport for a total of 12 years. And that career path is no longer. It was not my choice. And it was a really, 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 it still is a hard transition because, like you said, I got comfortable. I knew what I could do. I knew that I could do it well, and I knew that everything was fine. But the minute that you get uncomfortable, the minute that you're pushed out or just kind of forced to make a decision, I really agree that that's when the doors start opening. You have
Yeah.
encouraged me. I wish that I was able to take that decision into my own hands. But at the end of the day, what happened happened, and it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy for you. I can
Thank
relate,
you.
and I really hope that everybody is taking something away from this, because this was so powerful.
Yeah.
This was so powerful, and
Well,
I know it's a lot of people that are going through the same thing, just contemplating and thinking, should they do it?
I think a lot of times, I got to give a shout out to Robert. Robert said, "You're talking your next book right now." Absolutely, Robert.
Yes, Robert.
Absolutely. And then he also said, "That's a real friend that cries for your happiness." Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Ana is my girl. Even my sister Chantel is on. She said, "Thank you for
Yeah.
your words of encouragement. Know your words." Chantel friend responded. Oh, this is Chantel's friend responded.
Oh.
I think what's important, and then we're going to get to our guests. We're going to get to our guests because I don't want to hold it too long, and we got to talk about this fabulous book.
Yes.
I think a lot of times, if we can get this in our mind, if we can really get this in our mind, a lot of times when bad things happen in our lives, a lot of times we look at it as it happened to us, right?
Mhm.
Like this happened to us. But what I've really transitioned my mind to think about, like this has helped me really not to take a lot of things personal, even with,
Okay.
and I'll be very transparent. And I know people from my job may be watching. Hey, y'all, shout out to y'all.
Hey.
Even with my announcement with leaving, there's been a lot of change in the way that people have started to treat me. It's like
Mm.
I'm walking in my purpose. I'm living my dream. This is what we teach our children. This is what we encourage our people to do. And the moment that I made the announcement, the treatment within the building has totally shifted. Like it's almost
For the
like
better?
no, it's like I don't work there almost. But think about it. But this is the thing, and this hit me today. This hit me today, but this is the thing that helps me to regulate my mind and to become centered. A lot of times when things like that happen, we think that those things happen to us. But what I
Mhm.
am encouraged to know is that when things like that happen, it happened for us. Right?
Okay.
It didn't necessarily happen to it happened for us. These things had to happen to be able to show us that a lot of times we made the right decisions. And a
Yep.
lot of times when people show you who you are, who they are, you just have to believe them.
You
So
have
it's
to.
like if what I've done in the last 4 years hasn't meant anything to you, I've made the right decision to follow my dreams and my path for me. So
Yep.
this thing that is happening, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me
For you.
because it's even
Yes.
furthermore pushing me into my purpose, my calling, and to be able to walk in my true destiny. So I love that what I'm experiencing right now because it's the true call for me to go and walk in my purpose.
Yes, it is. And you
Yeah.
gonna walk in it. What did Robert say?
Like you said, unhealed people say, "How dare you want more than we have?" Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
You everybody has the opportunity to go out and
Yes.
get it they on their own. We're not gonna
Yes.
do that.
So yes, so that's my testimony. That's what I'm sharing. So over the next couple of months
Wow.
in this summer, I'll still be around. I am going to be presenting at a conference in South Carolina. My South Carolina folks are having me back. I am
Okay.
officiating my first wedding this August, so I'm so excited about that. I am going to be doing
Yes.
some work in this summer and just meeting different people still around and connecting with people. But I'll be back and forth for a little while from San Diego to Philadelphia. But my transition to San Diego is going to happen sometime this summer. I'm giving myself a deadline of September 1st, but if it doesn't happen that way, so be it. But what's the way that it's supposed to happen is going to happen, and I'm excited about that. So
Yes, it
everything
is.
is in alignment already, and I'm excited. So I have to bring on our guest. I have to bring on our guest because I'm so excited to talk about this book, y'all. I really am excited about Zahirah tonight. Zahirah Smith, who is the author and poet of the new
Mm-hmm.
acclaimed book. I'm calling it
Ooh.
a bestseller and all of that stuff
Ooh.
called Empty Stars. This book is for those who may feel broken, those who may be dealing with like mental health issues, whatever you may be dealing with. I've had an opportunity to read through this book, and I promise you, you will be blessed. So I am bringing to the stage our guest tonight, Zahirah Smith. Welcome to A Human Being. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you so much for having me. And sorry, before we start, I just wanted to say, hearing that whole story, I was crying too. I'm like, hold up, I'm getting emotional now too. But the whole story is just inspirational. And even like you said, going out and stepping into situations to where you're no longer comfortable, that's really where you experience more growth. So yeah, that really resonated with me.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so excited to have you here tonight to talk about your
Welcome.
book. Thank you so much for joining us. So I want to dive right in because I know we're a little bit over our time, but listen, if you got time, we have time.
Yes.
So I want to talk about your book. The new book is called Empty Stars. You guys can get it on Amazon. It is available on Amazon. You can purchase it for your Kindle, or you can purchase a hard copy of it as well. So Zahirah, I want to jump in and talk about the title first. Where did this title come from, and what inspired you to write this book?
So, okay, honestly, let me start with what inspired me to write the book first, because that was a separate process than what normally it is to write a book. So I actually started writing when I was in undergrad at Penn, and it actually started from just kind of being alone, because that was like my first time being alone. And you know, when you go to sleep at night, it's just you and your pillow. You don't really have much other people to talk to. And so for me, also, I'm not necessarily a speaker, or I wasn't normally a speaker or expresser of my emotions. So writing kind of became that formula for me, because I also dance, and that was like kind of a physical release, but I was still getting an emotional build up to where that my emotions wasn't being released. And I just felt like writing it down on paper was the perfect form of release for me. And honestly, the first time I wrote a poem, I read it to one of my best friends, and he was like, you know what, this is actually kind of good. And, you know, in my head, I'm just writing just to like release whatever's going on in my head, because I have no clue. And from then I just kept on writing. And then I saw that there was a recurring theme. Like, I saw that I was trying to question, like, what is going on? Who am I? Like, what is this life supposed to be for me? What is my worth? You know, that was one of the questions you said most people couldn't answer. It's just like asking myself those questions that I wouldn't be able to normally answer if I wasn't asking those questions in general. And so that continued on, me writing for like a couple years, 3 years. And then I went to Dubai to get my master's in international business. And it was during that time where, again, I was feeling that same type of emotion. I'm questioning myself again. And I was like, you know what? This is happening again to me. There's no way that I'm the only one going through this. So let me just put a book together. And so as I'm like reading through all the poems that I have written over the years, I'm like, as I said before, there's like a recurring theme, like the questions and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what is the perfect thing for this? Like the perfect title for this? And honestly, the one thing my mom always told me ever since I was born, I'm sure everybody mom done told them this: you a star, you a star, you a star.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the title Empty Stars came from, because it's like, yes, I am a star, but I don't really know what that looks like. And honestly, one of my favorite lines in the book isn't necessarily one of the poems, it's within the final note. And I basically say, we are told to shine, yet rarely ever giving the time or space to know what our light looks like. And I feel like that's what overall what the book is supposed to be about. Like you taking the time and the space to figure out where you are and who you want to be and what is your next step.
Yes. So, girl, that's you deep. Just preached.
That's deep. Yes.
That was it. I want to expound on that a little bit. I want you to requote what you just said, and I want to expound on that a little bit. I want to unpack that just a little bit. Can you requote what you just said?
Yes, I said, we are told to shine, yet rarely ever given the time or space to know what our light looks like.
Expound on that a little bit.
Okay, I can expand on that. So basically what I'm saying is that, like, for me growing up, I was always busy. It's always like, you got to worry about school. You got to worry about what's the next step for you. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Right? You always focusing on the next level or getting to the next part of your life, but you don't even really have the time or the space to even figure out what you want your next step to be. It's kind of like the world is always trying to tell you where you should be or what level, because everybody what most people would like to say, not what most people would like to say, or what we're normally taught is that everybody moves at the same level, right? When you're in school, everyone starts in first grade, you go to the second grade, you go to third grade, but that's not the reality of it, right? Some people may have to repeat the first grade again. Some people may jump to third grade. Like, everyone's in a different race of their life, but when you don't get to figure out what your race looks like or what your track looks like, there's no way that you can actually compete. Like, you're out of the race because you can't even figure out what the track looks like. You have no proper knowledge of how to even maneuver. And so that's what I mean when I say we are told to shine, but rarely ever given the time or space to know what our light looks like. How can I shine if I don't even know what it looks like? I don't know what my light looks like.
Wow. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. If you're just joining us, we are talking to Zahirah Smith about her new book, Empty Stars, a poetic book that is very inspirational. And I want to talk about, honestly, when I started to read this, I stopped right on the dedication page. I want to read what you wrote for this and tell me what inspired you to dedicate this book to these group of individuals. On the dedication page, it says, "For the ones who dared to look up even when the sky was empty."
Yes. Okay, so honestly, when I wrote that, it's just kind of coming from a place of where I feel like necessarily when I was going through this, I kind of felt alone. And like when I was writing my poems, it was like I couldn't necessarily relate to anybody in the moment. And it's always, and that's not to say that I didn't have anybody to talk to, but it's just because everybody else is going through the same thing as well, right? But it's about those who are willing to speak up about it and say something about it and actually open up those spaces to where everybody else can also be like, you know what? No, yeah, me too. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, me too. And and that empty sky is just kind of like, you looking up, because sometimes we get blinded by all the things that we have going on. You never get the chance to like take a aerial view of what everything, like the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture here? And yeah, I feel like I dedicated it to those people because like everybody's questioning, but who's actually willing to speak up and say something about it?
Yeah, I think it's important, because a lot of times I share this often that so many times people are not vulnerable or willing to share anything because they feel like they are the only ones going through. Like, and that's why it's always important for me to be transparent whenever I'm presenting or whenever I'm talking, to share my story or my life to a certain extent, because I do feel like there's some things you keep private. I always say I'm not secretive. I'm just very private. If you want to know something, if it's going to contribute to your life, I'm willing to share. But if you're just trying to be nosy or whatever the case may be,
it's a difference.
It's a difference. So it's one of those things to where we look at vulnerability as a weakness, so that when the truth of the matter, in vulnerability, there's so much strength. Number two, we don't share because we feel like we are the only ones going through. So there's nobody that we can either relate to, or we automatically prejudge that people will not understand because they don't know what we're going through. And I always think I'm willing to say 10 times out of 10, if you take a moment and actually begin to have a conversation with someone, you will realize that they know someone, they've experienced it, or they've been going through it themselves, the same exact thing that you may be going through.
And honestly, like that person used to be me. I used to be somebody that felt like, vulnerability is a weakness. You can't really be expressing your emotions out here because you never know how people are going to turn that into you. But when I talk to my friends and stuff and actually having that conversation and opening up that space to where we can all be vulnerable, it's honestly beautiful. I'd be wanting to cry after every single conversation.
I know it's so important because to be able, it's such a blessing to be able to find individuals that you can converse with, be your authentic self, say that I'm going through this with no judgment. And I think that a lot of times too, it's like on both sides. It's like on one side, we don't want to share because we see vulnerability as a weakness. And on the other side, sometimes people being vulnerable, us being vulnerable, make people uncomfortable because they feel like I don't have the words to say. And sometimes it's not even in your words. It's sometimes just in your action, simply by sitting there and listening. So Give me a hug, or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not looking for you to have the right words to
Right.
say. I just need you to listen sometimes. So I
Mhm.
totally can relate to that as well. I can relate to that as well. So I want to continue to journey on through this book. And one of the things that I found very fascinating as soon as you get into it is your cosmic map. I want
Mhm.
guys, if you want this book, you can go to Amazon and search Empty Stars. It pops right up. I know because I purchased it on Kindle, and you
Yep.
can definitely go and see it. Ana had an opportunity as well. But I want to talk about this cosmic map. I found it so unique. I found it so inspirational.
Mhm.
Please explain to everyone the purpose of the cosmic map and how did this come about?
Mhm. So the cosmic map is actually like it's supposed to mimic a table of contents, but I didn't want it to be a traditional table of contents. I wanted it to sort of feel like a journey, like you're going through the entire thing. And actually, the constellation that's in the cosmic map is the constellation of Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I think something like that's in somewhere in there, Capricorn gang. But also beyond that, like each chapter is named after like a celestial phenomenon. So like you have the ignition, the black
Mhm.
hole, meteor showers, and supernova illumination, that all circles around like the universe and things around that. And honestly, for me, I feel like they represent different emotional states. So for ignition, it could just kind of mean like that first spark of when you're just first asking those questions. You're
Mhm.
just starting to beginning to learn how to rediscover yourself and how to start healing. And black hole, like the darkness, everybody goes through some type of darkness, but
Mhm.
at the end of it, when you get to like supernova and illumination, there's always light at the end, and you always figure out, like you said earlier, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, and you just have
Yep.
to figure that moment out. Like once you get to that point of realization, it's just going to be an amazing point for you, because now you understand that it wasn't for it wasn't for no reason. You understand that this was for a purpose, and this is going to help me move forward in what I want to actually do, and how I can figure out what I want to actually do. And so yeah, I just feel like the cosmic map it helps the readers move through that in sort of a kind of journey, because also constellations aren't necessarily linear, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
You're going to always orbit back to those same feelings, and it's not like, oh, it just ends after illumination. And I just want to clarify that about my book. It's not that illumination is the end, because obviously I'm going to have more questions as I learn more about myself and I learn more about the world.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. One of the things
Yeah.
as I journeyed through the book and I was reading different things, as you said, you start with the ignite,
Mhm.
the ignition, and
Ignition.
the first thing that you talk about is where the first spark flickers. And I think for me, one of the things that really stood out under that chapter for me
Mhm.
is covered in the awakening. Awakening.
Mhm.
Talk to me a little bit, or share with the readers, with the viewers, a little bit about the inspiration behind that particular poem.
Mhm. Sorry, I'm just reading it real quick so I can
No,
kind
no
of give an
problem.
overview. One second.
Problem.
Yes, okay, so this is actually also one of my favorite poems as well, because it's kind of like a bridge. Like the first poem is like, okay, this is like the introduction, but the Covered in Awakening is kind of like a bridge into going into more about what the poetry book is going to be about. And honestly, the last line is the one that really resonates me. Let me read it real quick. I learned that knowledge could warm but also burn, the inevitable prelude to the storm that awaited. I feel like that kind of wraps up like what the book is going to be about, right? So Covered in the Awakening is just like you're trying to you're now coming to this point of understanding where you're now realizing you don't know everything. Like I don't know everything, and I thought I did, At the age that I was writing this at, it's kind of like you're feeling like you feel on top of the world. You feel like you can accomplish anything. And of course you can, but you can't do that unless you're willing to grow and willing to learn more. But also at the same fact is that knowledge could also give you some type of setbacks, but those setbacks are only a spring that push you forward.
Mhm.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anna, I don't want to take up all the questions. Feel free
No.
to.
Well, I mean,
I can talk about this all night.
Yes,
I told,
I love to hear you guys speak. I mean, she took one of my questions. I had two, but it was, what is your favorite part of the book,
Mhm.
or the passage, or a poem? But you kind of spoke on
Mhm.
that. Um, my second question is, I guess, do you have any advice for any other authors that are looking to get their book started, or
Mhm.
just give them some type of encouragement, that push that they just need to get the ball rolling?
Yes, of course. What I will say is that, like, for me, it did take me like, I started putting the book together in February, and honestly, it's been complete since about April. So it took
Okay.
me like a month to like actually push myself to get it out there. And honestly, one thing I will say is that, like the conversation that we were having before, it's okay to be vulnerable with the world because everybody is also going through something as well.
Mhm.
And nobody is really going to judge you because they don't know the facts of your life, right? Only you do. Only you can tell your story. And so I think going into it, into releasing your own book with that courage and being like, you know what, I'm the writer of my own story. I create the characters,
Yes.
I create the storyline, going into it with that, knowing that no one can change that fact is the reason why you should do it, and just push yourself to actually do it, because of course you're always going to be nervous to do it. And
Mhm.
once you step out that box, you never know what could happen. I mean, I'm on the podcast now, so
Right.
Girl, because I'm trying to figure out, when is the book signing going to
I
be?
love it.
I'm
I
ready
know.
to
Like, when is the
come.
book
I'm
coming
signing?
soon.
How
ready.
That's
about we gonna
coming
have some
soon.
food? What we doing?
Yes,
Like,
please keep us posted. I would love to
yeah,
just continue to see you grow and just progress in this journey and in this chapter in your life, girl. I'm so
Yes,
proud of you.
yes, thank
I didn't get a
you.
chance to read everything throughout the book, but best
Mhm,
believe that's going to be the rest of my week, okay?
mhm.
Because this is a
Yes,
good
yes,
one.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Y'all love this conversation. Y'all ready to get her book? Drop some hearts in the comments.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do want to get back to some of the things that you wrote in the book as well, and I think that it's so inspirational that you shared like your process, and I think that's encouraging because I
Hmm.
think everybody has a different process when it comes to
Mhm,
writing. But I
Hmm.
want to come back into the book because I want to ask you about a section that's one of my favorite sections after going through the book, and we're talking about collisions. Um, I love what you said about storms clash quietly. Now,
mhm,
while you're looking through, I want to get to return to the garden.
mhm,
I want to get
mhm,
to and I want to talk to you about the first. I want you to read it if you don't mind,
mhm.
and I want to talk about the inspiration behind this because there's so much that I took away from this, and I just want to know like what was your inspiration behind this?
Hmm.
Of course. One second. Let me find it in the book.
Okay.
I got two authors in the room with me now.
I'm
I'm
so
scared of
excited. I'm
y'all.
so
I'm
excited,
scared.
everybody. We have Zahirah Smith, author and poet of Empty Stars. That her book is now available on Amazon. So please make
Yes.
sure that you go and check it out. We are talking to about a section of her book called Collision, and she describes that chapter as storms clash quietly, and we are going to explore the poem Return to the Garden.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay, let me read it first and then I'll get into the explanation. Okay, tragedy strikes, the world's canvas blurs, but for me, the stars slowly begin coloring themselves in, brightening the dark palette. I get to go back, not to a new chapter, but to a book left open on the last page read. This place is comforting, as fulfilling as it is familiar, an old garden cultivated with care through years of seasons. I want to linger among its enduring blooms, wrapped in the warmth of permanence, hoping, just like this safe haven, I too will remain steady and unswayed.
Hmm. Should we snap?
So, mhm.
Yes, we can have. I think I want to hear
Girl.
I want to hear what your inspiration behind it, but I think what really got to me was the end part that
Mm.
really resonated to me to say, I too will remain steady and unswayed.
Mhm.
I want to just hear about this. I want to take it all in.
Mhm.
What was your inspiration behind that?
So the inspiration behind this poem was actually COVID-19. Now everybody knows that we all had to go. I was in college at the time, so I had to come back home. And honestly, it felt really good that I got to come back home. But also at the same time, it was like I felt like I was moving backwards, and that's why I say not
Mhm.
to a new chapter, but to a book open on the last page read. It felt
Wow.
like I wasn't actually moving forward with my life, and I was just coming back to the place that was always loving and I always felt warm and cozy here, you know, but coming back, it just kind of felt, you know, and then when I wrap it up, I too will always remain steady and unswayed. Obviously, like I said, my house has always been a loving place and I've always been welcome here. And I think it's just kind of coming from a place of where I want to make sure that I remain strong in who I am. Like, I don't want me to change for anybody or anything. And I feel like that was one of the things that I was going through at the time because, you know, I was going to a PWI. So it was like, it was a different environment from what I had been in before. And a lot of people are different and they act one way in front of other people. And, you know, but behind closed doors, they actually agreed to you. So that was a promise that I made to myself that I would never switch up my values or my morals just to please the collective. And I feel like, you know, even people who make that decision struggle a little bit more than people who don't, because then you're open to being more welcomed into the society because people are like, okay, this person I know is going to agree with me because, you know, but when you're the person that is always going to speak up for what's right, even though the collective is saying what's wrong is right, you're just kind of outcasted. And that's what I meant when I said I too will remain steady and unswayed. I want to remain who I am, and I don't want to change for anything or anyone.
That is absolutely why that resonated with me so much, because that is like my life mission. To, regardless of what's going on around me, is that I don't care how much money I make. I don't care what kind of car I drive. I don't care what's happening in my life, that I always, I want to, that is my sincere prayer, to stay steady and unswayed. That that the things won't make me, the people won't shift me, you know, or any of that. And so like, this is one reason why I loved about Returning to the Garden. That was just so inspirational, because it's like, regardless of where I go back to, whenever I go visit home, like what is home for me, or wherever I go back to a place that maybe once was not always so great.
Right.
You know what I mean? That the values that I have and the things that I've inherited in life, as far as how I love people and how I treat people, regardless of how people treat me, I am going to always lead with love and kindness.
Right.
And so I think that that's what's important to me when I think about this. And that last little ending says, I too will remain steady and unswayed. And I look at commas and everything. I may not always write them and use them always correctly, but even when I'm reading this and I think about it, it's like, I too will remain steady and unswayed. So that was so powerful to me. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you just for sharing this entire body of work. I think it's so powerful, and I am so proud of you. Do you mind grabbing one of your books? I want people to see, because I don't want people to act like they can't find it on.
Don't be confused. It
Don't
looks like they don't.
This is what it looks
like. Stars, yes, this is what it looks like. Empty stars, right here.
It's not a lotion. It's not a product. It's not a sleep medicine. It's a book. And this is what it looks like. Empty Stars on Amazon. You can purchase it. It is available right now. You can buy it on your Kindle, or you can buy a hard copy, or however you purchase your books. You can get this book, but it is available right now. It's called Empty Stars. Please, please, please. I promise you that you don't have to be into poetry to buy this book, because it will definitely speak to your soul. It's not about, I ain't into poems and all that kind of stuff. You don't know what you're into.
Yeah.
Right?
No, honestly though,
get it, because
like, a lot of my friends, they're not into reading poetry, but and honestly, like I told you guys before we actually came on, but I haven't really spoken to anybody about me releasing the book. I just honestly released it, and it was like, go purchase.
Right.
My friends, they not really into reading poetry, but they read it and they was like, wow, like this is actually really, really good. Like I loved it so much. I didn't even think that I was gonna like it, honestly. But you know, even though you're not somebody that relates to poetry or understands poetry, there's always something that you can resonate with.
Listen, I think it was really what I think will resonate with a lot of people is that it really just speaks to your soul. Like it's not about the rhyming of it all. It's not the storytelling. And if you take a moment to read this book, and you take a moment to really just let the words, I'm a lover of words, you know, and I'm a lover of like the words lifting up off the paper and just like dancing in my mind and in my like in front of my face, and I could see the story. And I think that when I read Return to the Garden, like it so took me to a place. Like for you, it was like, oh, I'm going back home, and this place has always been great for me. But for me, how I took it was going back to a place that I didn't want to go to, but I had to go back to go. Sometimes you got to go back and heal so that you can be able to move forward. And realize that regardless of what I've been through, who I am now, I won't be swayed in anything that where I was because of who I am now. So I think that if you're looking for an inspirational book to really just encourage your spirit and to speak to your soul, I am encouraging you to go to Amazon, look up on Amazon Empty Stars, and purchase the book because it really will speak to your soul.
Yes.
All right. So Zahirah, I just want to ask you, do you have any final things before we let you go? Again, thank you so much for joining us.
I did want to say thank you so much for having me on. Stay tuned for the book signing because coming soon. A lot of people have been asking for it, surprisingly. So I'm like, okay, that's something that I definitely have to do. Absolutely. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I was so excited to come on. Thank you for having me as my first time on the podcast speaking about my book.
Won't be the last either.
I know. I'm gonna say we definitely would love for you to come. If you are willing to come back, we would love to have you come back.
Oh my God, yes, of course. I would love to as well. Yeah. Oh, thank
you. I appreciate you so much. I'm happy that we had an opportunity to meet you. We had
such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to meet you.
Again, guys, Zahirah Smith, author and poet of Empty Stars, available on Amazon. Please go and purchase her book. Let us know. I'm going to also make it available on our website at DwayneBundrake.com, where you will be able to purchase by the end of the week. You can go to the website. I'm not getting any proceeds. Don't worry about what you're doing for me. I worry about everything that you're doing for Zahirah Smith, the author and poet of Empty Stars. I just want to make it available so that when people visit the website, they'll be able to see the book. But you can head over to Amazon. The book is available. Type in Empty Stars. The book will come up. You saw what it looked like. Please go and purchase the book and support. All right, there we go. There it is. There it is. Zahirah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Having you to come back anytime that you want to.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
You let us know.
All right.
You let us know.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
So lovely. Oh my God. So amazing.
Oh my God. The talent. Okay.
Oh my God. So amazing. Like I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. If you read this book, you get this book, you will absolutely be blessed. And you guys show her all the love. It is not easy being able to be vulnerable and pouring your heart out to people and having the world really judge what you do, so that's a big step. So shout out to her and what she's doing with this book. I think it's so amazing and such a great inspiration to the world.
Yes, this was a great show.
It was a great show. We are at the end of our show.
I mean, we'd have been on for a month. We done had a great recap. You done laid some great testimonies on us, and now Zahirah's book. Like, this is just this was a great show.
Listen, like Zahirah got on here like she's a pro. Like she's I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Right?
And I loved every minute of it. I cannot wait to have her back. Seriously, I can't wait to see what's next for her.
Absolutely, and you can really tell. And I'm being very transparent, authentic. Like you can really tell that there's so much wisdom and knowledge based on. Like let me back up. You can tell this is an individual who has done the work on themselves and have come into knowing who they are. They can't be persuaded by anybody telling them who they are. They know who they are, and she's in a place where she's willing to help other people. And I'm just so grateful that she's pouring from her heart and sharing with the world. And she's going to go far and do amazing things. So
she is.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, Ana, you have any closing things that you would like to share?
Yes, I just want to thank everybody for being here, for being patient with us. Anybody that's going to replay, I hope that you guys take away from these wonderful messages, because there was just multiple throughout this live tonight. And I want to know what's next for y'all. I want to be more interactive with our audience. But I'm grateful to be here. And like I said, I missed you. I'm so happy that we did tonight. And we gonna be back. So y'all just check for us.
I know we will definitely be back, and I'm just so grateful for everyone who tunes in to watch us. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yes.
Instagram, we have
Yes.
viewers and comments from everyone tonight. Thank you so much. And I just want to leave with this, like when you're thinking about what's next, and I shared my testimony today that, you know, about what's happening in my life, being able to move and to venture out into new amazing things. And I just have to shout out to the people that continue to support me. But honestly, what I want to say, when you're defining what's next in your life, it can really be a transformative process. And for me, that's what I find it to be. And there's a few things that I want you to think about. If you don't take away from anything else, take this today. When you're thinking about what's next in your life, the number one thing for me was self-reflection. That's what I spend a lot of time doing when I was at this conference, really reflecting on the impact that was happening in everyone's life that I was coming in contact with. It's amazing to walk into a room, and before you really even open your mouth, people are there with the expectation and already valuing what you have to offer. That is such a great feeling. I think for me, I really started to really seek the inspiration, like really just pray and ask God to give me clear direction and really just tell me the direction that I needed to go in. I began to take the plan of action to talk about what it will look like. And most important for me is that I really have been in a place where I've trusted my instincts. Like, you know, I haven't shared it with a lot of people. Now, all of you know now, but I didn't really want to share it with a lot of people because I didn't want anybody trying to talk against what I know that God was dealing with me with. You know, I didn't need any naysayers. I didn't need anybody like, you're going to move all the way out there. I didn't need anybody saying like, California is so expensive. Yes, it is. But guess what? I know and trust and believe that God is going to provide.
And
Because
is
he's already doing that. And within the last 2 weeks, every provision has been set in place. Every single thing that I thought I would fear or feel left out or feel what I needed, everything has been set in place. So I am just so grateful about the opportunities and the things that are going to happen. So I'm grateful. So I really want to encourage you that if there's a dream or a vision that you want to, I'm sorry, my dog is going a little crazy, y'all. If there's a vision or something that you have in mind or something that you have in place in your heart, please do not hesitate to just start to reflect and take the time to really focus on what you want to do. Now, I'm not telling you, if God don't tell you to step out and resign from your job, I'm not telling you to do that. That's the direction that I was taking for me. And I feel so much lighter. I feel so much happier. And I am ready to go to California and give them a taste of Dwayne. They've already been experienced. I've been in Palm Springs. I've been in Modesto. I've been doing all of these things in California, but it's such a great opportunity to be able to go and live there and do the work that I know that I've been called to do.
Yes,
so I'm grateful.
yes,
I'm grateful. So thank you all so much for watching our show tonight. We do know that next week will be a holiday. It's Memorial Day. I don't know if we'll be live or not. We'll let you know. We may be in the same house. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope so, because I need some DW cooking. It's long overdue.
I know. I don't know the last time I cooked a real big full meal, but we might be even in the same house. Who knows? But we promise to give you something next Monday. We will figure it out. We may have a solo red cup. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to be happening, but it is Memorial Day next week, and we want to make sure that we give you a show because we thank you so much. And like even with our move, the best part about doing this is that we're virtual. So moving to San Diego, Ana being in Philadelphia is not going to stop our show.
No.
We are going to do what we came to do, and this platform is for us to continue to connect with humans that are being them best selves, that are living their best life. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope you continue to support us, and we hope that you continue to just be inspired by what we offer here at A Human Being. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.